Howdy, y'all. This is Paul, the Redneck Thinker. What we have here is a channel to communicate. I want you folks to be thinking by the time you leave my videos. Why? Because I'm tired of people talking via what other people tell them to think. So, watch my video and enjoy the chance to think for yourself. Oh, and if you don't mind, like, subscribe, comment. And I've got a link tree down below that's got my social media, and it has my Patreon if you want to help out. Thank y'all. I'm going to start out this video by saying that while I am asking you folks this question, I am starting out this by stating my view is that corporate greed, not capitalism, but corporatism that is ruling this nation through the assistance of politicians and the government has ruined healthcare. This story is going to show you a lot of facts about this case and why you should care about it. So, that being said, through financial mismanagement, a group called Steward Healthcare had to close 7 hospitals. One of them was St. Elizabeth's Medical Center in Boston. This then led Governor Maura Healey, who had already had hundreds of millions of taxpayer dollars that was put into this hospital to try to keep it open, to use eminent domain to take over the land that the Boston Medical Center had been on. Steward Healthcare didn't own the land or the building. The owner of that property has since taken that government to court over the eminent domain case. Question I'm asking you folks is, should government be allowed to do this? The next is, what should happen when a needed hospital is closed? Now, all of this information that I have here, all my research into this is in a Substack that is going to be listed down below. I want you folks, if you're interested, to look over this information, do your own research. But I just wanted to give you all this information so that you can make an informed decision. Now, Governor Healey had to say this: while Apollo continues to put its greed ahead of the health and well-being of the people of Massachusetts, we are taking action to make sure St. Elizabeth's remains open. By transferring operations to Boston Medical Center, we will protect access to care for tens of thousands of patients and save thousands of jobs. Our administration is committed to ensuring smooth transition at the 5 Steward hospitals that we were able to save and supporting the communities impacted by Steward's closures of Neshoba Valley Medical Center and Kearney Hospital. Okay, there were 7 hospitals closed, with 5 of them getting new owners. Steward Healthcare was the company that ran the hospital. Apollo Medical Holdings owns the building and land. The governor and her administration consider St. Elizabeth's to be a crucial provider, which is why they are taking action. Now, Steward went bankrupt. They filed for bankruptcy. And a brand new organization called Rural Healthcare Group ended up buying them out for like $245 million. This came after a group called Optum Medical Group backed out of buying Steward. Steward started in 2010 with owning 40 hospitals at their peak. They sold the land the hospitals were on, making the company and investors millions. And then the company that bought the land, Apollo being one of them, leased the land back. So they bought the land and then leased it back to Steward. None of the money went into the hospitals at all. All this money went into the investors' pockets and the CEO's pockets. They would end up failing to pay for needed equipment, supplies, and any maintenance. Buildings, equipment, any maintenance at all. They didn't pay for any of it. Now, when you look into the political donations, they were pretty bipartisan. And depending on the year, 2014 was heavily Republican, and then after that, they were heavily Democrat donations. Claire McCaskill got money. Kirsten Sinema got money. Marco Rubio, Jeff Flake. All of them did. There were several PACs that got it. A lot of the PACs were actually geared towards Republicans or medical health care providers. So this is a bipartisan issue here that we're talking about. It makes you wonder what these politicians were doing for this company. It just also makes you wonder what private equity companies are doing getting involved with all of this. I mean, we all understand why. I mean, this made these investors millions of dollars. Like I said, they did file for bankruptcy. Basically, it looks like a long-term pump and dump scam. State of Massachusetts, I think it was like $700 million overall in an aid package. Another time they put another $30 million into it. But hey, don't worry. The CEO, whose name is Dr. Ralph De La Torre, is got 2 yachts that he can relax on. Though he might be needing to run because there's a lot of investigations into all of this. Okay, Apollo, the medical holdings company, is suing Healy, the state government, for this eminent domain. They're saying that the $140 million that they are being told that they're going to be paid for taking over the land is not enough money, and that it's not for renting or leasing the land, that it's just a straight taking over of the building and property by the Boston Medical Group. All of this, like I said, funded through the government. And they offer too little for everything. So, they're also saying that there was no legislative approval for any of this. Seems to be that there's going to be a fight for this land and this building for a needed medical center in that area. Now look, folks, I'm not going to answer the question. You've already probably figured out my views on this. I'm not a big fan of government taking over of stuff. But at the same time, why was there hundreds of millions of dollars put into this company by the government, yet there's a bankruptcy that happened? There's all kinds of questions, and there's been a lot of investigations. He's also, the De La Torre fella decided not to show up to the Massachusetts investigation before the legislature. He did go before Congress, but he Fifth Amendment the entire time. You and I are living at a time that we have companies that are not practicing laissez-faire capitalism. It keeps getting called, oh, capitalism. No, it's not capitalism. These corporations rarely, if ever, practice capitalism. Read up on Adam Smith and The Wealth of Nations, and you will see really quickly, no, this is not capitalism. This is what RFK has been screaming about. This is what so many others have been screaming about. I don't know. My personal opinion is that something's got to be done. Is it government taking over? I mean, at this point, this is a local issue, and if the local government is needing help, then yeah, I guess something has to be done. I don't know how that money is going to be recovered from by the state. I mean, there's so many questions. But that's why I'm bringing this to you, my listeners. I want you to decide for yourself. I've got all the research in my Substack. I want you to decide what you think needs to be done about this, because this is starting to happen all over the nation. Hospitals are closing. People are losing their health care because these corporations that are ran by private equity groups that run these hospitals are running them into the ground for the investors' sake and destroying local communities. This, like I said, this is not capitalism in any way, shape, or form. This is greed. And greed is not capitalistic. Seriously, read Wealth of Nations. You'll get a whole different perspective of what laissez-faire capitalism is. So, this has been Paul, the Redneck Thinker. Y'all think about this one and, hey, answer down below.
Folks, I just want to say thank you for listening. I want to thank you for taking your time. I want to hear what your comments are about what you think on this topic, because your comments are what's important, not necessarily mine. I don't care if you're Republican, I don't care if you're conservative, I don't care if you're liberal, I don't care if you're Democrat. I want to hear your opinion on these topics. I want to thank you yet again for listening to my video. Like, subscribe, and all that other hoopla. This has been Paul, the Redneck Thinker. Y'all have a good day now. Bye.